Well, just
Actually, it is your fault.
remind her. Tell your dad. Remind her every now and then. Maybe she forgot.
Whose fault is it?
She forgets everything. I have to remind her all the time of things. They were brand new shoes. You know. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? We both have 4 stories. Question, how long are your stories?
Mine are very short.
Mine are very long.
I have one short one.
I have 10 pages.
Damn, Bree!
Yeah. I did 4 stories just in case. So if you want to go first and then I can go, because maybe I can just do 3 stories if you want again. But I have 4 stories in here.
I have one long one. The other, but it's not that long. It's like medium.
That's a story from my dad, so an old man story. You know how long those are.
Welcome to Hometown Horrors.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go again from the bottom.
Okay. From the bottom, make it drop. Listen. What?
Thanks. Sorry, Candy.
Welcome to Hometown Horrors. That is Bree.
That is Amy. The whores. Horrors. Sorry.
Horrors. We're the horrors.
You get 1. Only because I'm very hungry. Can you eat those? You're allowed to
Can
eat
you
those?
move?
Yeah. I can't see your mom's beautiful face. You know, she's so beautiful.
That shirt used to be mine.
I'm so sad. Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh.
I
I'm
know.
so little.
I know.
She's so much bigger now, though.
I know. Don't do that, please.
Isn't it weird, like, thinking when they can start wearing your clothes, it's like, wow, they're starting to fill things out now.
Yeah.
You can have these 4, but that's it. No more. I'm stingy with my candy. As you guys know, Amy's leaving me.
Wow, we're talking about it again.
Yep. We just recorded, so we're double recording today. This is our podcast, What's with the Neighbors, true crime and paranormal podcast.
Bree said that we're going to be lies because we won't be neighbors anymore.
Yeah.
So we'll be lying.
But I guess we're not lying because we don't. Well, it's not like that's my neighbor. That's not what our podcast is called. It's called
No.
What's with the Neighbors.
What's with the Neighbors?
Why is it called What's with the Neighbors, Amy?
It is called What's with the Neighbors because you never know what's lurking behind your neighbor's doors.
Yep. And then also we were neighbors at the time, so that's what
We still
sprung
are
the
neighbors,
idea,
actually.
but yeah.
So. And I'm going to be your roommate, maybe.
Yep. That would be really cool. I'm gonna stomp on my floor every morning and wake you up.
That won't wake me up.
Oh,
I sleep with earplugs in every night.
you do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's smart. You probably should continue to do that.
Yeah. I don't know. I started doing it because Rick snores, and now I can't. Even if, like, it's dead silent, I still wear earplugs because the thought of them not being in my ears keeps me up.
Oh, that's weird. Certain things keep me up, too.
Like children.
Like, yeah.
Go away.
Yeah. I know I have to talk to you before I go to bed.
So this is our Hometown Horrors. This is our second episode of it.
Mm-hmm. We're very excited.
Yeah. So, Bree, do you have a neighborhood story?
Yes.
Are you going to go first with your stories or am I?
Let's let you go first and we'll see how long mine are. I don't know. If you want to just tell all 4, I can.
Just tell your stories.
Okay.
I'm going to tell my neighborhood story. You're going to tell your first neighborhood story first.
Okay. All right. This is what?
Can I tell my hometown story, my neighborhood story?
Oh, sorry. Amy just yelled at me because I didn't understand. It was just a simple misunderstanding, and she just yelled at me, guys.
I was not yelling. This is yelling. That's what my mom would do all the time.
Mean.
She's about to cry. Okay, so, and I have a question for you.
Pop it.
Sorry. If you were the ruler of the world, who would be your top advisor?
You.
Hell yeah. I knew you were going to say that.
You. That was the easiest question you've ever asked me.
Why? I don't make good judgments.
I mean, you or maybe, man, I don't know. I'd say my husband's pretty smart. He's
That-
he's a pretty smart guy. Like, he knows shit. So
I would pick Rick, and then it would be you.
I would pick you. I would definitely pick you as like my advisor, as in like I'm having a mental breakdown advisor, not my advisor like, oh my god, the world is ending, what do I do?
Yeah, right. Why are you crying? Because I hurt you?
You are okay.
Go. You need to leave. You're making noise, and you know that you're being annoying. You know that I can't have you making noises in here.
We're almost done. We'll be done soon.
All the way. Close the door all the way.
Emotional today.
I know.
It's been a long process, I'm sure.
I can't. You're gonna have to do that all over again because she was humming.
Okay. Do you want to ask?
Okay, let me ask you the question again. Okay. If you were the ruler of the world, who would be your top advisor?
You.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Definitely you.
But I'm not that great at judgments. Like I am quick to jump to conclusions. Like,
Yeah,
I am
you are.
the quickest.
You are.
Like,
okay, you're right.
China is bombing us. What should we do?
Oh my god, we need
And
to
I would
find
be
a
like,
bunker.
Bomb them back.
We need to find a spaceship. Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. Let's just go.
Same. No, okay, yeah, you're right. So you would be my emotional support advisee.
Okay.
When I needed to text someone, I'd be like, Leslie, no.
Right.
Text you every minute, every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's
every
Josh.
30 seconds.
Every 30 seconds. Thank you. I'm so out of the loop with that show. I haven't watched it in a while.
It's okay.
Josh.
Yeah.
My husband.
He's smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's smart. He knows stuff.
Yeah.
Like he's like he knows like so many different like things about the military, and then like conspiracy shit, and then like he just knows things in general. And I'm like, where
Right.
did you learn that? And he's like, I just know things. I'm just super
know
smart.
this. Yeah.
That
That would be mine too. It would be Rick and then you.
yeah.
'Cause
Oh,
Rick, yeah, Rick is very
He's a genius.
yeah.
But he thinks things through.
He does. He processes things. He mulls it over. He looks at all sides of everything, at the small picture and the big picture. And I hate everything about it, even though it's super good to
goes
have.
a million miles a minute sometimes.
Yes. And he, like, I know I complain about him, but he's very level-headed.
Yeah.
When it comes to
Yeah.
decisions.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I could. Yeah.
So, yeah, it'd definitely be Rick, and then it would be you, because, like, I think, like, Rick thinks things logically. He doesn't think with his heart.
Aw.
And you think with your heart.
I'm like the who has a heart? The Tin Man. I'm your Tin Man.
Tin Man doesn't have a heart.
Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't. The song by Miranda Lambert. Hey there, Mr. Tin Man.
Was he a brain? No. The Scarecrow was the brain. Is it the
lion
the
has
lion
a heart.
who needed a heart?
No, he won't. No. The Tin Man has a heart. Needs a heart.
Yeah. So I'm like, when the Tin Man got a heart, I am
Gotcha.
the Tin Man. Because he
Gotcha.
he already had a heart. He just didn't realize it, essentially. He was the emotional one of the group.
Yeah.
Other than the lion being a little bitch. He needed courage.
Yeah. He needed courage. That's
Yeah,
what it was.
that's
yeah.
right. Even though he was a lion.
Yeah.
It's like everyone already had it. Anyway, life
Wow.
lessons. That was weird. Yeah, Hometown Horrors coming to you now.
Live.
Are we ready?
It's not live.
Do we have any more announcements?
I have a neighbor.
Oh, son of a pup. I keep on
have-
forgetting to mention that, even though we're not in it anymore.
Yeah. I have a neighborhood story for you.
Oh, yeah.
Are you ready?
That's why we're called What's with the Neighbors. Yeah.
That's not why we're called What's with the Neighbors. It's because you never know what's going on behind your neighborhood store. You never know what's going on. You never know what's lurking behind your neighbor's doors. Thank you.
Lurking.
Come to my TED Talk again and watch me rant.
Oh, my. Amy's on fire tonight.
I'm on fire.
Amy's getting hangry.
I am so hungry.
Same.
Okay, so this one's also from Twitter, and it says, figuring out which neighbor has ice cream butt cheeks
What?
as their Wi-Fi.
What?
I'm trying to figure out which neighborhood, let me start over. This one's from Twitter, and it says, I'm trying to figure out which neighbor has ice cream butt cheeks as their Wi-Fi.
What?
Is it the family doctor or the BYU accounting professor?
What? That is a great Wi-Fi name.
Ice cream butt cheeks.
I still don't know how you name your own Wi-Fi. Like, I wish I could name mine.
You can.
I don't know how
You go to your internet thing, and you go to like the router information, and you just change it.
I just want to name mine like, bitch, better have my Wi-Fi. I don't know.
I wish I could change mine, but we'd have to change all the devices in the house. We'd have to like reconnect everything.
Oh, that'd be so annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
So that's
Yeah,
why
I'm
I
not gonna do
haven't,
that.
because otherwise I would change it, because it's not 2020 anymore.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay. Next place you live.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Ours, Carol Baskin killed her husband, and
Yep.
Pretty
Oh,
Fly.
definitely 2020.
Yeah. And then Pretty Fly for Wi-Fi.
I love
which
it.
I like
That's
that one.
super lame.
Yeah, you're lame.
It's super dad jokey. All right. So, my last story, I think I'm pretty sure was the last one I told for my hometown horrors, was a little old man story. So I have one more for now.
It was a little old man story.
Okay, so I have another one.
And he was like, I feel like we just did a hometown horror. He was like being silly.
And they were doing the Ouija board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so little old man this is from Bob, aka my dad. Little old man was certainly commonplace in our house by now. Our friends had all become accustomed to him, and he was our normal. Enter stage left, Jim.
Stage left.
My dad is such a writer. Jim was a coworker of mine in the Navy and got into a multi-level marketing plan with me. Don't ever do that.
Get into an MLM
Yeah.
with your dad.
Jim had a wife and a very high energy son. Great family. I remember them. Okay. I was trying to figure out who this was, but now I remember. Okay.
Oh. Okay.
All right. Great family. They were. As I backed off from the multi-level marketing, Jim dove in deeper. We would watch his son after school on occasion, and he would go on more multi-level meetings.
I want to know what it was.
I have no idea.
Were they selling knives?
I have no idea. I feel like my dad did do something like that.
Cutco?
I don't think it was knives. I don't know what he did, but I think he did do something like that. I hated the whole multi-level gig, so it was fine with me. On the weekend, Jim and I were both off, so
It sounded like you said Gemini.
Jim and I were both off, and we spoke casually about Little Old Man. Jim insisted that things like that were always explainable and none were real. Well, knew someone's getting haunted. We invited Jim and his wife and son over for cards that night. Well, maybe not his son to play cards. Why do you include all this? My dad is so lame. He's such a loser.
Did you read
you're
this
such a
before
dork.
you?
I read it like a week ago.
Oh.
He could watch Aladdin on the TV. Jim had long since done away with the TV. There was no personal value in TV according to his multi-level company. So it was a treat for his son. I had to figure out what my dad is talking about. We had all been playing cards and, of course, having some bourbon and cokes. All of a sudden, Jim says, "How about this little old man?" I asked, "How about him?" "Where's he at?" "Not sure," I said. "He usually hangs out in my daughter's room until the kids go to bed. Then he goes across the hall to my son's room. So he's probably in Ashley's room. It's on the left." Which I found out that they actually played the Ouija board in that room, which is where I stayed after I was born.
What the heck?
Yeah. Yeah, and shit happened to me in there. Okay, so Jim asked, what do I do? I said, about what? To see him or meet him or whatever, Jim stated. You walk in Ashley's room. If he's there, if he's real, you'll know it, I responded. Jim chuckled. Whatever. Such a writer. Jim left the dining room, smug, and walked down the hall. I heard my daughter's doorknob click and the hinges slightly squeak. I heard the little choo-choo train on my son's making its train-like noises. Woo, 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 chugga, chugga, chugga. Oh my God, that sound haunts me. Okay, so that same noise, like I remember that stupid thing. One, it was on a home video. I remember my brother getting it for Christmas in a home video. But also in Paranormal Activity, the second one, I think, they have like the same train in it. It does the same thing and it goes by itself.
Ew, Brie.
Choo choo, chugga chugga, and all aboard. The door slammed. Jim came up the hallway and was obviously angry. He had my son's Fisher-Price train in his hand. Jim slammed the train down on the wood grain top table. Why is that important, Dad? And said, what the f*** is this? A toy train. 2 and up, I think, I replied. 2 and up. Where's the fucking remote? Jim asked, frustrated. There's not one, I replied. Why did it start by itself? Jim yelled. Not sure, but I think it was showing you he was real, I said. He's not real, Jim blurted out. Jim threw the train on the floor. The train lay there quiet.
Jim sounds angry.
He kicked it with his foot. The train slid into the hallway and lay still. I'll buy Matt a new train if I break it, Jim said. Okay, I replied. Jim continued with his attack on the train. He slapped it, yelled at it, spun it, and kicked it, and threw it again.
This is a grown man.
At the end of each assault, the train lay there silent. So, like, you can mash it and mash it, and this shit won't go off unless, like, you have to, like, physically press the button hard in order for it to go off. Okay. Terrible toy for a kid because it doesn't work unless you actually, like, have force to it.
Right.
3 big buttons on top of the train waited to be pushed. The first, after being pushed, would whistle woo woo. The second would sound the chugga chugga sound. And the last hollered all aboard. None of the buttons were responding to the abuse Jim offered.
Abuse. Yeah. Keyword abuse.
All 3 operated without hesitation when pushed with the pressure of a 2-year-old that a 2-year-old would apply. Jim asked, what gives? I'm not sure, but it's what I was telling you about, I responded. Jim was still white-faced and said, I've never seen anything like this. Me neither, I said. Want to play cards? Jim nodded. I think I need another drink first. He smiled. Gotcha. And that's it.
That is...
Fisher-Price is going to be sending my dad a letter. How dare you abuse our train?
Also, I feel like Jim needs to go to anger management. Like, what the heck?
They were good people. It's probably the bourbon and cokes. Calm down on the train, Jam. Gosh.
Yeah, calm down. Goodness. Okay, so I'm going to tell you this. All of my stories are short, like I said, except for one. And it's not that long. But this one is... about Marvin Heemeyer.
Heemeyer?
Yeah. So Marvin, speaking of what's with the neighbors, Marvin Heemeyer went on a rampage through his small Colorado town. It began as a zoning dispute that caused Heemeyer to lose his muffler business. Okay. So when it became clear that the entire town had no intentions of working with him, he began secretly converting a bulldozer into an impenetrable tank, like a
penetrable.
Yeah.
Penetrable. Yes, I know what you're saying.
Thank you. On June 4th of 2004, Marvin drove his armored bulldozer through the town and began sympathetically destroying the homes and businesses of
What?
everyone he felt wronged him. Police fired over 200 rounds and launched 3 explosives with 0 effect on this bulldozer.
Oh my gosh.
Marvin ended up demolishing 13 buildings before the vehicle became high-centered on a basement. And sadly, by the time the officers arrived to the bulldozer, that because it was high-centered, he killed himself in the...
He was in the wrong job. He could have been working for the military. Holy shit, Marvin.
Like, calm down.
He didn't kill anyone else, though, right?
No, he just destroyed these
accident.
buildings. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, there's Marvin again.
Oh, good old Marvin. Also, I'd be like, hey, my house is over here. Let me get the stuff out of it first.
Yeah. Hang on a second. Just give me an hour. That's all I need.
That's all I need.
I can get everything that I need out of there. They'll pay for the rest. That's crazy. Could
you imagine?
Okay. I've been wanting to do this one for a while. My brother actually wanted me to do it. But it was never big enough to do a long story.
Sure.
So this is on the Okiku doll.
The what doll?
Okiku.
Yeah, Okiku.
Okiku.
It sounds Japanese.
Yes. So the doll Okiku was bought in Sapporo by a 17-year-old Elchiki Suzuki in 1918 for his 2-year-old sister Okiku. He was touring the region for a maritime exhibition, and the doll instantly drew his eyes. The perfect little thing sat on top of a shop window, enticing him. Suzuki didn't think twice. He went in and instantly purchased the figure for his sister, used the last of his money for it.
Oh,
I know, what a good brother. It's about 40 centimeters tall and dressed in a traditional kimono. The doll was exquisite. Its hair was raven black and cut to roughly shoulder length in traditional Okappa hairstyle.
Okappa, my kappa.
Okappa, my kappa. Her eyes were piercing coals that seemed to swallow everything up in her gaze.
Ew.
The thing was mesmerizing and enchanting, something to take your breath away. Suzuki went back home and gave the doll to his little sister. She fell in love with the doll immediately. It transformed into Ukiku's favorite toy, and most importantly, it was her best friend. Ukiku played with her every day and took it everywhere and treated the figurine like her little sister. She would talk and play with the thing, feed it, sleep with it, and she decided to call it Okiku, a mirror duplicate of herself. I
love that.
I know. The doll never left her sight. Then a year later, tragedy struck in 1919 and Okiku died.
No.
The girl, not the doll. Obviously. Yellow fever had descended on the land and robbed the family of the little girl. Okiku died. Gosh, my computer corrected everything. It says rubbed the family. I wouldn't want yellow fever to be robbing my family. Okiku died, gasping for air, in pain and afraid.
Oh, baby.
The doll held firmly in her grasp. She was only 3 years old.
Oh, my gosh.
The family wanted to bury the doll along with Okiku, but circumstances and governmental oversight prevented this last act of kindness on their part. The doll was never laid to rest with Okiku. The doll Okiku was alternatively located in the family's altar, a common practice in certain Japanese households to commemorate the dead. This small shrine celebrated their daughter and marked her passing into afterlife.
Yeah.
That's when the weirdness started to occur. One day, the family started to notice that the doll's hair was getting longer.
What?
Once her traditional shoulder length cut with neat ends, now mangled mess of split ends reached down past her waist.
What?
It was scruffy, different colors, and felt different. At night, they started to dream of Okiku, and sometimes the doll would appear by their side come morning.
What? No.
The chilling evenings intensified and grew into full-blown acts of spiritual infestation. Lights flickered on and off bangings in the house, noises, and strange voices. The closer the year got to certain key dates, to Ukiku's birthday and the day of her death, like things like that would happen. Over time, they were certain in the town. Over time, they were certain, and the town shaman / spiritual leaders concurred that the daughter's soul was in fact trapped within the doll. In 1938, the family relocated to a different district. They had by now become accustomed to Ukiku and had even grown fond of the daughter's restless spirit to them. It was a magical and unique opportunity to interact with the dead. Not desiring to take Ukiku with them, fearing that what fueled her magic was proximity to the daughter's grave, the family approached the local temple and asked them to take care of the doll. The temple by now had heard countless stories of the amazing doll, the haunted doll whose hair grew every year. They were fascinated, skipping like schoolgirls with the prospect. The priest gleefully accepted the charge and started taking care of Ukiku. Over time, they managed to confirm the veracity of some of the claims, particularly that the hair does indeed grow. The priests have sent out cut samples of the hair for scientific analysis. Scientific examination of Ukiku proved that the hair was that of human child.
What?
The hair even needs to be trimmed, and the doll stays happy and content that way. As the years passed on, the doll's fame grew and her powers further developed. She's bolder now, invading the dreams of priests and those that come to visit her. She's stronger, her hair grows faster and wilder, and she's even spookier. The lasted event driving tourists mad is the frightening claim is that the mouth of Ukiku is slowly opening, and that if you dare to peer inside, you may be able to see a glimpse of something like baby teeth sprouting like weeds from porcelain gums.
Ew.
That was Ukiku. I know. Sorry, my eyes are like drying out. I've been wanting to do that doll for a while, but like it was like it's like 2 pages. It's like a 2 pages or page and a half. But yeah, isn't that fun? It's not fun. It's sweet, but it's like ooh, creepy hair. I don't like hair.
And she's growing teeth.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but you know, it's still really creepy.
Hate that. Thank you.
Tell me, you're welcome. Okay. Tell me a hometown horror.
So I'm going to tell you about Malin Olsen, and I'm going to probably butcher some of these names.
Is she an Olsen twin?
Yeah, obviously.
Sick.
So she was 16 years old when she was found murdered on Ostra Graveyard in Gothenburg, Sweden in 1994.
Okay, that's sad.
Yeah. So Malin was traveling from Dals Ed to Gothenburg to spend the weekend in a house.
Sounds like Gotham. Sorry.
Yeah, it does.
Batman. I'm Batman.
To spend the weekend in a house in Hydra.
Hydra?
Huh?
Is it Hydra?
No, Harida.
Oh, I got excited. I was
Why?
thinking of Marvel.
Oh, no, Harida. And obviously I'm pronouncing it wrong. But it was a small town outside of Gothenburg where she and her friend were going to watch a house with they were going to dog watch.
Okay.
Saturday night, the 23rd of July, 1994, Malin and her friend decided to head to Gothenburg with a group of friends. After an argument, Malin left the rest of the group and walked away alone in the night. Witnesses saw Malin walk through Stampen, which was an area in central Gothenburg, in the direction of Ostra Graveyard. Malin's friend called Malin's mother the next day after to let her know that Malin didn't return home to that house that they were house sitting. Malin's mother is certain that her killer forced Malin into the graveyard because Malin was scared of graveyards and always avoided them. Malin was found Sunday morning strangled next to a gravestone in the graveyard. She was naked and her killer had thrown her clothes in a nearby bush. Next to Malin's body, police found a leather belt And the police believe that the belt belonged to Malin's killer. Police also found a print, quote unquote, on the gravestone where Malin was found that matched a print on the bicycle. It sounds like a footprint.
Yeah.
I think that this bicycle was found somewhere in the area, but there's no information on it. So I don't know where they found the bicycle.
Okay.
But several witnesses heard screams from the graveyard at around 1:40 in the morning, but no one thought anything of it at the time. And one witness contacted the police after her murder, like after they realized that she was murdered in the area. They're like, hey, I heard voices,
Right.
like her screaming. After the murder, the killer sat down on a park bench in the graveyard and looked through photographs in her wallet. The police were able to follow the killer's route because of the police were able to follow the killer's route out of the graveyard and into the surrounding area because he kept looking at her photos and just like leaving them on the ground.
Oh.
It was really weird.
Yeah.
Malin's ID was found in Kortdala, a Gothenburg suburb. Several days after the murder, the photo of Malin had been removed from the ID, which is
Ew.
really weird. The photo also had never been found. Police believe that the photo is being kept by the killer as a souvenir,
Yeah.
and her killer has never been found.
Why didn't you just keep the whole ID?
Yeah, it was really weird, isn't it?
I mean, it's not that much bigger.
Yeah.
That's really weird. Ew.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad. So they're out. They never were found.
Yeah,
That sucks.
I know.
Maybe one day they'll get justice.
Maybe. Oh, wait! Oh, never mind. That was a
Aw,
different story.
You got my hopes up. I was like, they get justice.
Yeah.
Justice.
This just in.
Batman. Okay. I'm going to tell you about the La Isla de Monicas.
Okay.
Or the Island of the Dolls.
Ew.
Sorry, another doll. Located south of the center of Mexico City, Mexico, lies an island only inhabited by dolls. The Island of the Dolls was originally owned by a Don Julian Santa Berra in the 1950s. So dolls began to randomly appear on the island. And according to the legend, a young girl drowned and tangled among the lilies of the canal, and her body was found on the bank. Santana claimed to have heard the girl crying out, "I want my doll," and terrified. She was hung up. And he hung up a doll that he found near her body. He like hung up a doll on the tree, like where she kind of like as a commemorate, I guess. After the event, every time he'd go outside, he claimed to find a new doll hanging on one of the trees. He'd supposedly died in the same spot that he found the girl.
Oh my gosh.
And many believe that the death was caused by the girl's spirit, who is still believed to haunt the island. The island is now a tourist attraction and has been featured on Ghost Adventures, BuzzFeed Unsolved, and Lore on Amazon Prime. In addition to hundreds of dolls on the island, it also contains a small museum with articles from the local paper about the island and the previous owner.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a store and some rooms. Some visitors place offerings around the dolls in exchange for miracles and blessings, and others change their clothes and maintain it as a form of worship.
Okay.
So I don't know if changing because they're around negative energy or I don't know. I don't know, but that was the Island of Dolls. Very short and sweet.
Like it. I hate
That's
it.
my only short and sweet one.
Okay.
My next one's pretty short.
Okay. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
So, on August 31st, 2004, a man was found behind a dumpster in a Burger King parking lot in Richmond Hill, Georgia,
Ooh.
which is like right where we used to live.
Okay. And what was 1974?
2004.
2004. I heard
Yeah.
it 4. Sorry.
Yeah. You're good. He was naked, bleeding, and didn't have anything that could identify him.
Okay.
Employees called the police, and he was taken to St. Joseph Chandler Hospital in Savannah under the name Burger King Doe, where they found 3...
Really, y'all?
Huh?
You said really all.
They found 3 depressions on his skull, indicating blunt force trauma, among other injuries.
Okay.
Eventually, he named himself Benjamin Kyle, BK. Because this guy, like, he didn't know who he was. He completely lost his memory.
Oh, man.
It took over 10 years for him to find his true identity, but thanks to extensive DNA research, he discovered he is William Burgess Powell, a man who had lost contact with his family over 20 years ago.
Oh, my gosh.
With no records covering that time span, the mystery of who he is and how he ended up behind the Burger King has yet to be solved.
What?
He is also the only American listed as a missing whose physical location is actually still unknown.
That's wild. That's weird.
I know.
Burger.
So then you find out what your real name is, right?
Yeah.
Like, because of DNA or whatever advancements. Do you go back to that name, or do you still?
If it's been 10 years and like that's the original for you, like not the one you found out, but like the BK, like that's your name.
Benjamin Kyle. Why would you name yourself?
I would
Benjamin
continue
Kyle?
to go by that name unless I got my memory back and I have more years to remember the other name.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Why is your last name Kyle?
Yeah,
You have 2 first names.
That's not a last name.
That's not a last name.
Stupid. Kyle. All right. This last one I have been wanting to do for a very long time.
Ooh.
I'm so glad that we're doing these because these are get out all of these little tiny ones.
I agree.
All right. This is on something called the buzzer. So the buzzer, or a UVB or UVB-76, is a shortwave radio station in Russia.
Oh, okay.
It is as of now, it is just outside of St. Petersburg, and I guess it was originally broadcasted from a military bunker in a military town in a bunker.
Okay.
And it's been moved since.
Sure.
So the broadcast on the frequency of 4625 kilohertz. You can look it up on YouTube. It's live. You can listen to it anytime you want.
Whoa.
It broadcasts a short, monotonous buzz tone. That's like all. And it repeats a rate of approximately 25 tones per minute, 24 hours a day. And like all day long, it's just doing that. And it first began in 1976. And I'm going to play you. Can I play you a sound clip? Okay. I can send it to you as well. So this is what you hear pretty much all day from this.
Yeah, you need to send it to me so I can put it.
Yeah. Son of a bitch. You're not going to play for me now. That's all it is.
Why though?
Okay. So, I'm going to possibly get into that.
That song was banging.
Right? Okay. So, that's all you hear pretty much all day. It's just that,
Right.
like an alarm sound almost and a buzzing.
Yeah.
So why am I telling you this? So no one has actually claimed the radio station. So it's like a ghost station. No one knows where it's coming from. No one knows who made it. No one knows why it's doing it. And while it seems like a random, like useless frequency, sometimes the buzzer signal is often interrupted. And a voice transmission in Russian takes place, repeating a series of random words, names, numbers, maybe call signs. And I'm going to play an example of that.
Okay. Do you know what he was saying?
Yeah, it translates it all. It's a lot of it's names and numbers and like call signs.
Call signs.
Like I heard Tatiana in there, Liliana.
But what are call signs?
Like a code for something,
Gotcha.
military code.
Okay.
So there are lots of theories behind this radio station, given that this was first broadcasted in like the 70s. Many believe that it was like a spy communications broadcasting thing during the Cold War, because this was during the Cold War. It's very like, to me, it feels very Stranger Things like.
Yeah.
A former Russian minister of communications has written that the purpose of the voice messages is to confirm that operations at receiving stations are alert. So they're like they'll send out, like occasionally they'll send out those broadcasts and like send out certain names and like wait for other radio stations to repeat them back to them to confirm that they're running and operating.
Okay.
In the Russian Journal of Earth Sciences, it's described as an observatory that measures changes in the ionosphere by broadcasting a signal at 45625 kilohertz. Another theory described in BBC articles says that the lower tower admitting the station is connected to the Russian perimeter missile system.
Whoa.
And emits a dead hand signal that will trigger a nuclear retaliatory response if the signal is interrupted as a result of nuclear attack against Russia.
Oh my gosh.
But that theory is probably unlikely because the signal often breaks and
Right.
it's good still. So also the constant buzzing functions as a channel marker, as in to like keep the frequency occupied, thereby making it unattractive for other potential users to go and use that channel.
Okay.
So that's why it's constantly going, and it's been going for like decades. But that's all I got.
That is so weird.
That's the buzzer. Yeah, and you can like I said, you can just look up the buzzer Russian radio station or whatever on YouTube, and you can just listen to it. If you got nothing to do, just turn it on. It's just like brr, brr. It's very like, it's a little chilling because it sounds like an alarm is happening, like something bad's about to happen, like a nuclear attack.
Well, and they go, them talking is very like, I don't know why it makes me think of Manifest for some reason.
Yeah, like because it's very conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Ooh.
Yeah. That was the buzzer. Do you have one more?
Yeah. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay. So, in 1979, a family discovered a human torso while hunting for arrowheads.
Why did you just go right over that?
Oh, because it's like no big deal. So they found a human torso while hunting for arrowheads in a series of caves made from ancient lava tubes known as the Civil Defense Caves in Dubious, Idaho. The body was a man torso wrapped in burlap with nothing but wearing a red sweater. They had little to go on, and the case went cold until two boys found 2 arms and 2 legs.
You know what? That was going to be my next question was his arm still attached? I'm not even joking. I was about to ask. Was his arm still attached? Just the torso.
Just the torso.
Got it.
So 2 boys found 2 arms and 2 legs wrapped in burlap in the same caves a decade later.
Ew. Were they preserved?
I don't know.
Probably not. They're probably bones.
Yeah. The remains were examined by the FBI, the Smithsonian, Idaho State, the Clark County Sheriff Office, and the University of New Hampshire, and the Orthram Laboratory. Eventually, the body was identified as Joseph Henry Loveless.
Oh, he wasn't loveless. He was legless and armless.
He was limbless.
Oh.
But where's his head?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
So he was a bootlegger and a counterfeiter of the late 1800s.
He pissed someone off.
Officials believe he was murdered after killing his wife and fleeing to the caves in 1960, though there though there who killed him though whoever killed him is still unknown and why.
But he's dead anyway, probably. Definitely dead. Because
He's
you said
definitely
1800s.
dead. Yeah.
Oh my god. Wait, so the torso was not like fresh. It was like bones.
It was, yeah.
Okay, good. That's good. I mean, I'd rather find bones than like a fresh dead body.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah.
It's
I
gross
agree.
regardless, but you know. Heebie-jeebies.
Blech. So weird.
That was fun.
Do you have a neighborhood story?
You bet your bottom dollar I do.
Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow.
Oh, this one's going to hit home.
Oh.
All right, so this one's from Twitter. Need to rehome a dog.
Ooh.
Small terrier tends to bark a lot. If interested, let me know and I'll jump over my neighbor's fence and get it for you. That's all.
We've shared that one before.
Oh, have we?
Yeah.
There's a reminder for you guys.
Still a good one.
Yeah.
Still solid. We're going to go. Goodbye. I hope you enjoyed our hometown holes.
So long. Farewell to you, my friends.
This is Hometown Horse.
Also, be sure to go check out the Bo Real Bigfoot Fest thing that's going on June 10th and 11th. And also, we forgot to say we're unfortunately not going to be there this year. Plans have changed. You've already heard. Life is busy and things are going on. So
my parents will be here soon.
also, it's my birthday weekend, and you know, I just subtly threw that in there.
What did we do for your birthday? What did we
Nothing.
do last year?
Nothing.
No, we did something.
I told an alien story.
Oh, that's right. We recorded on your birthday.
We did. It
You're
was
like,
awesome.
Let's just do it on Sunday. And I was like, huh, okay. And I was like, you butthead.
They're like, let's come over now. And I was like, okay, cool. And I came over.
Yeah.
We recorded early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made you your candy bar cake.
You did. And then I was sick all weekend.
Yeah,
I
that's
had
right.
stomach bug. Josh came back. Yeah. I had to go pick him up from the airport and I was throwing up in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that now. Oh, that was a terrible weekend. I'm sorry. Your candy bar cake was delicious, but I can't think of it as the same anymore. It wasn't from the candy bar cake, guys. It was a stomach bug. My whole family, we all had it. Even Josh eventually got it too.
I poisoned her.
We were all sick. It was terrible. I lost so much weight though. That's like the only positivity with stomach bugs is like, oh, I lost a pound. What?
I like feeling like you're not bloated.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice.
Okay. Not trying to encourage that. Anyway, do you have something to say to me?
What do you want me to say to you, Bree? Have you checked in on the neighbor?
What's with the neighbors?
Bree and Amy out.
Oh. Psh.
Say hi to your cats for us.
Meow. Don't get dead.
You didn't say that in the last episode.
I said don't get dead. I was laughing. Yes, I did because I was laughing.
Oh.
I did. I did.